made me giggle but also cry. I want to read about the tension rather than the smut. His hair, like the way it quifts back, I don't agree with it. Hi, I'm Maddie and welcome to my channel. I hope you stick around. I absolutely love to yap about books. I'm so excited to be here starting my booktube journey. Now, if you're anything like me, I feel like spring gives all the cutesy romantic vibes. It's the weather, birds are chirping, like we just want to read lighthearted books. So the first recommendation is Spiral by Balacabra. And this is perfect for you hockey, sports romance people out there. I feel like some hockey romance books really just give Wattpad, but in like the worst way possible. This is giving Wattpad in the best way possible. She's a ballet dancer and he's a hockey player, and I feel like it really touches on deep themes as well, which I really appreciated. This is the second book in like an interconnected standalone series. The first one's called Collide, but I actually preferred the second book more. I just feel like the main character is more relatable and I could really connect with her. This is a classic sports romance done well with the fake dating trope where Elias, the hockey player, needs to sort out his like bad boy PR wreck, and the main girl is a ballet dancer and basically she's told she's not going to make it if she doesn't have a social media background. And of course, lines blur, fake dating turns to true dating. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to say. If you haven't already been sold on a hockey sports romance with a ballet girl and the fake dating trope, and I don't know what else will convince you. The next rom-com is First Time Caller, which is my Kindle Trophy Book of the Year. I still haven't taken off the sticker from the works boots. If you're looking for a book where you can just sit and read in the sun and want to finish it in one day, this one will be just the one for you. I absolutely love how original this is. I feel like a lot of romance books kind of put themselves into tropes, which I love a good trope, but I feel like there was so much more to the story, and I feel like it's one I've constantly been thinking about. I originally even rated it 4 stars, but now I'm like, I'm bumping up to 5 because it's living rent-free in my mind. The premise of this book is that Lucy Stone has a daughter called Maya, and she calls this like radio show, which is all to do with answering people's love problems, and the host, Aidan, picks up the call and is like, so done with his job, but somehow like is so interested in Maya's story about her mum. This clip goes viral over the internet and everyone wants to know what's going on with Lucy. I need to know her love story. We want to help Lucy find love of her life. And so begins like this relationship between Lucy and Aidan, who are on this like radio show, and they're trying to find her a date. But of course, they're actually falling for each other whilst he's helping her find dates. And I don't know, I feel like the main guy really reminded me of Jessie from Pitch Perfect in like the cutest, nerdiest way possible. And I love how the main girl is actually a mechanic. And I just love when romance books are actually realistic. If you've not read a romance book in a while, I'd highly recommend this one. You love food and you love YA romances that reminds you of other teenagers, all the boys I've loved before and never have ever. Well, Pink Super 2 is just for you. I feel like I've not seen enough people talk about this book. It is so funny. I've literally like tabbed so many books that I found hilarious, and it's also really relatable. We have the main guy River, who works in his family's cafe, isn't really feeling the vibes there. He unexpectedly quits the family job and gets himself a job at the cafe down the road, which is kind of like enemy territory, but he doesn't actually mention who he is. River accidentally uploads a YouTube video which goes viral for the wrong ways, showing all the chaotic vibes of the co-workers, but the internet absolutely eats it up and is like they want to see more of River and Sarang. To keep everyone's attention on the cafe, River and Sarang end up fake dating. I love the way it's like multimedia format. When he's like filming the videos, it's like shown as like a little script, and it's also like text as well. If you're looking for a young adult book that will make you laugh and remind you of the kind of chaoticness of being a teenager, then I feel like this is perfect for you. I mean, honestly, isn't this cover just spring in a book? I'm obsessed with the colours, and I'm also obsessed with this book, and this is why you need to read it. I'll Be the One is a book all about K-pop and the industry. It's like really cute romantic themes in it. It's also addressing deep themes such as body positivity, family stigma, and the K-pop industry in general. Our main girl, Sky, is obsessed with K-pop, and she enters this competition where she has to audition, and she's put under like the social media spotlight. And she has to deal with all its scrutiny whilst also falling for the celebrity hot boy called Henry. But while she's crushing on Henry, she has to deal with the fact that she doesn't want to change herself or lose herself to society and the K-pop industry. And I feel like for a young adult book, this was amazing. It touched on so many important themes. And I generally feel like sometimes young adult books just do it better than adult books. Following on for more young adult romance recommendations, I Hope This Doesn't Find You is one that I love. Constantly recommend to people if you love academic rivals to lovers, and if you also love a girl who is a hater and a true hater. And honestly, as a hater myself, I commend her. So basically, in the plot of this book, she absolutely hates this boy because he's always like dropping her in a class, and she craves academic validation. So of course, the way she deals with this is writing emails. These hate emails accidentally get sent off to the whole entire school. Basically, think of it if To All the Boys I've Loved Before wasn't letters to her crushes, but actually letters to her enemies. I absolutely love the slow burn and the angst in this. I feel like it was so realistic, and I love how especially they actually did dislike each other. Like, I really hate it when books advertise themselves with like enemies to lovers, rivals to lovers, and it's like it's literally instant love on the first page. And that was not the case for this book. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit different, but it's young adult, and it also kind of gives you the tension and the yearning that you need to read in this lovely spring weather, and I hope this doesn't find you to speak for you. Honey and Spies is the perfect book if you love a college, university romance setting, and this book really touched on the like racism, classism, and being a black student in the UK. It did have a few too many pop culture references, but I generally loved the spice. Chef's kiss. Like, if you're looking to get a spicy book that you just want to kick back and relax to, Honey and Spice, this one is for you. The main guy, Malachi, honestly, like, you know, when you think about boyfriends, yeah, he's made that list. Somewhere in the City by Alex Astor. I generally saw this book advertised all over my BookTok, Life and my Bookstagram, but then I was like, maybe I should give it a shot, because it was really giving the rom-com energy I needed for the spring-summer weather. The main girl is a screenwriter, and she's like in New York City, and she actually hates the city, but she's like, she has to be there to write the script. And her next door neighbor is this hot CEO billionaire, and he offers to like take her around to these places, and they basically go around these like New York crawl of like these like iconic places. And they also pursue a fake dating relationship, because she was like, why on earth would you want to show me around New York when you've got other things to do, you're a billionaire? And he was like, oh, I need to clean up my image, yada yada yada. So if you're like me and you love a bit of slow burn and a bit of tension, then Somewhere in the City might just be a book for you. Now, if you're looking for a romance book that has like literally no spice, but it gives you all the yearning, and it generally gives you the most spring vibes ever, then If I Loved You Less by Anna Qureshi is the book for you. This is a modern day retelling of the classic book Emma, except it's also like a Muslim representation, which I absolutely adored. It was done so well. Girl wants to find herself at the perfect romance, the perfect man, without realising she has a man right on her doorstep who's her neighbour and someone who she's very close to. Had Bridgerton spring vibes, like they had picnics in the park, it was giving Regency, and I love how like it had amazing South Asian representation in it. It's generally a book that I would recommend to anyone and everyone. Sometimes you just want to read about the tension rather than the smut. Now, if you're looking for another rom-com vibes that give like 90s, 2000s movies, then Say You'll Be Mine by Nina Kamal is the book for you. Such a good representation of like desi culture, and it's just so hilarious. So instead of fake dating, it's actually a fake engagement, but it has like the big wedding aspect of like desi culture, and it definitely has all those like cute wow moments of like the rom-com from the 90s and 2000s, where they show big gestures to win each other's love, and it's just the perfect book to read when you just want to switch off from the world and giggle and kick your feet. My next romance recommendation is Beg, Borrow or Steal by Sarah Adams. Small town romances really hit the spot of encompassing a season, so like they go all out for spring, they go all out for summer, autumn and winter, and I feel like this book really gives like spring summer vibes. The main two characters, Emily and Jack, went to university together. They've had it out for each other for ages. Jack moves into Emily's small town to be a teacher, and she's like, why is this guy here to literally ruin my day? Thus begins their relationship of pranks, wanting to spend time with each other but making up excuses for it, being like, oh my god, I hate this guy, like his hair, like the way it quotes back, I don't agree with it, and all the silly excuses. It's actually a second book in the interconnected standalone series. Practice Makes Perfect also gives spring vibes, but I feel like I actually preferred Beg, Borrow, Steal. My next romance book recommendation is called 7 Days in June, and oh my god, right, this book the same time made me giggle but also cry. In this book we have Ava and Shane, who both meet at a literary event. Ava and Shane are both each other's muses, and they've been writing basically to each other through their books. They have actually met in the past. They had a crazy week of being together, and years later they've met up again. It's a second chance romance. It's very sensual, the writing is beautiful, but if you're looking for something that will kind of make you rethink your life choices as to why you haven't read this book sooner, then this one is for you. Okay, but nothing screams cozy spring book than a small town, cozy village, found family romance. And the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches just does that. It's got that cozy magical element, but it also has a really cute romance that you have you rooting for the couple the whole way of the book. We have a main girl, Micah, who's a witch, but no one else is supposed to know that. But she randomly decides to upload videos of herself pretending to be a witch. She receives a message through this online platform like, "Witch needed, we need your help." And so she drives herself to this little house in like the middle of nowhere, and it's really like cutesy. And there are 3 orphan little witches that she's supposed to help train up. But of course, they're also residing with a grumpy librarian, Jamie, who wants nothing to do with Micah. If the weather's a bit gloomy in spring, which we all know it can be, especially in the UK, then like a cozy, witchy book, sign me up. My next recommendations are cozy fantasy or fantasy subplot of romance, because I feel like those are the books that just do it best. My first one is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. A lot of people say this is great to read in winter because it has lots of wintry themes in this, but I do feel like because it's so much to do with like being outdoors, being in nature, then I feel like this is also appropriate in spring as well. If you haven't heard of this book already, Emily Wilde is a academic scholar, and she's just like laser focused on her goal to research this little village, this little town, and the fairies that they have in it. But also on the sidelines we have Wendell, who is like her academic rival. This is more sort of focused on the fantasy part. But Wendell's definition of sunshine, and Emily is very much grumpy, and I just love how like he's like so obvious about his like crush on her, and she's just like so clueless. I love the way it's written, and the story is told through her journal writing, and which has like footnotes at the bottom. And I just thought it was such an interesting book to read, and it was just so different than what I've usually read. If you're looking for something to spice things up, this one might just be for you. Okay, but what screams more than spring and summer than fairies? And in particular, Tinkerbell, because Wings of Starlight, yeah, this is such a spring book, and it will hit you deep in the core. If you aren't already a fan of the Tinkerbell movies, and where have you been? Go and watch that right now, then come back to this video. This book is about Queen Clarion, who's like a warm fairy, and King Mallory, who's like the winter fairy. This is kind of like the story between them as like star-crossed lovers, and obviously if you've watched the films, you kind of know how it ends. My inner Tinkerbell fangirl was like literally screaming inside, so definitely read this if you haven't already. Now, if you're looking for a classic fantasy book that will remind you of why you love the genre so much, and just has that epic adventure, side quests, the powers, then Blade of Secrets might just be for you. The premise of this book is that Ziva is a metal wielder, and she's wielded this sword that will reveal people's secrets. She didn't realise that the kingdom wanted the sword for evil ways, and she just wanted to create the sword because she was just told that that's what to do as a metal wielder. So she's basically on the run with her sister on this like side quest to escape the kingdom and find someone who's worthy of wielding the sword before it gets into the wrong hands. But on the way, there's a slow burn romance. And I feel like this book gives spring vibes because we're on a side quest, on an adventure. There's that cutesy, cozy vibes of this fantasy. And it really just reminds you as to why you might love the YA fantasy genre. And if you're looking for a book that has cute banter, a slow burn, really cute sisterhood moments, and also amazing representation of anxiety, then this book will tick all those boxes for you. The next book I'd recommend is A Tempest of Tea. Now, this either gives spring or autumn vibes and no in between, and so because this is a spring recommendation video, it's going in this video. I absolutely adore this book so much. It's probably one of my first 5-star reads of this year. If you love heists, if you love vampires, if you love like amazing representation of different cultures, this book is for you. Our main girl, Artie, has her own tea room, and she's basically built it up to be that prestigious like place where vampires will come get their fix for blood. And basically this book talks a lot about colonialism and racism, but it was just done in such a great way in a fantasy book, and her tea room is at risk of like being taken away from her. So Artie like bands up these like group of people to help her on this heist. And of course there's like really great witty banter, and if you want something that's action-packed with some romance but with a great plot, then this book is for you. And the reason why I feel like this is such a spring book is because I feel like it has such similar vibes of like the Infernal Devices and the Chain of Thorns series by Cassandra Clare. The plot and everything is completely different, but it's just like the vibe of being in that Regency era. So if you're looking for a fantasy book that's a bit different, it has like all the elements of like a great fantasy book: plot twist, vampires, found family, amazing romance, amazing writing, then I'd highly recommend this book. So this girl has to sew a dress from the laughter of the sun, tears of the moon, and the blood of stars. I mean, how cool is that? In the Dawn, it's such a magical fairy tale of a book, and it's written so beautifully that I can't help but recommend it in the spring video. It's romantic, it's got magical vibes. If you love the movie She's a Man, then you'll definitely love this book. The main girl, Maya, has been summoned to the summer court to enter a competition of 12 tailors to make the best 3 dresses. And amongst the people in the court, there was someone called Eden, who is a court enchanter and who can see right through Maya's disguise and is like, Miss Girl, you are not a boy, you are a woman. So if you're looking for something that has a really beautiful romance, but also like a great story of a girl trying to become her own person and make a name for herself, then I'd really recommend this book. The next 3 books are a bit miscellaneous, but I feel like they fit the vibe of the spring recommendations, so of course I've had to put them in. The first book is called Starfish by Kemi Dawn Bowman, and generally this is a young adult book, but it is so emotionally destroying that if you want to be wrecked, read this one. So our main girl Kiko is half Japanese and she really struggles with her identity and feeling like she's the odd one out. She also deals with a really hard home background. Her abusive uncle moves back into her house. At the same time, she doesn't get into her dream art school, but she receives an invitation from her childhood friend Jamie to tour the art schools on the west coast. And Kiko jumps at that opportunity, and the beautiful writing paired with the amazing descriptions of Kiko's paintings of how she's feeling in that moment, I feel like really enriches this book and the experience of understanding Kiko as a character. And whilst yes, this has a bit of romance in it, I feel like this is more of like a self-discovery book of accepting yourself and your identity and the beauty that comes from embracing yourself. At the end of each chapter, there's one sentence which really summarises how Kiko is feeling, and because I would recommend this book to read in spring, here is one that really represents that. I draw a girl in love with a snowman at the beginning of spring. I'm not going to read any more out, but I feel like that kind of gives you the vibe of what this book is about and why you should read it. It's so underrated, nobody ever talks about it, and I need more people to read this book. Queenie by Candace Carty-Williams is so witty, charming, but also quite dark at times, and it's a lit fit book that's very compelling and so easy to read. We follow the main character, Queenie, who has just been broken up with by her white boyfriend. As you read this book, it shows you how Tom wasn't a perfect boyfriend and how he never stood up for Queenie when there was casual racism thrown towards her. And this book follows how Queenie deals with this, and at times she makes some very questionable decisions, but you are so hooked into her story and into her life that you want to continue reading despite the little cringe that you get. If you're looking for a book to read this spring that is completely fresh, completely distinct, and has such a unique voice, then Queenie might just be for you. And finally, we have The Secret Garden, which is one of my favourite books growing up, and I feel like I had to include it in this video because what gives spring more so than a garden? If you don't know what this classic is about, it's basically how this child, Mary, she discovers a garden and it's been locked away, kept in secret. I feel like that's all you need to know to get into it. It's a very short book and you'll breeze through it. And if you're a reader who wants to get into some more classics, then The Secret Garden is a really good choice to go with. And that's a wrap. I hope you liked this video. I'm so excited to continue my booktube journey, and I'll hopefully be back with another video next week. If you made it this far, drop a tulip emoji in the comments and let me know if you have any more books to add to my spring TBR list.